There's a lot of talk out there about the need to split or slice user and job stories. But why is this so important? What's wrong with big stories? Do all stories need to be small? The answer may surprise you, so let's dig in, starting with why splitting stories is so important. On the surface, teams split user stories so that a story will fit into the iteration. While this is true, it just raises the question of why work needs to fit into an iteration. When work items are small, specifically small enough to fit within an iteration, it's easy for team members to say whether they finished each item. Assessing progress becomes easy. Each product backlog item is either not started or it's done. We're really good at knowing when we haven't started something, and we're pretty good at knowing when we're done. We suck everywhere in between. A programmer once told me he was 80% done with something. Feeling a little playful, but with a very serious expression, I told him it seemed more like he was 78% done. He said, "Yeah, could be." He had no idea if he was 80% or 78% done. He probably felt mostly done and turned that feeling into a number. Don't play the percentage done game. When teams split large stories into ones that are small enough to fit into their sprints or iterations, they avoid playing this game. Every story can be considered not started or done. This is important because teams deceive themselves about progress. We think we're more done than we are. There's a joke in the software industry that says software projects are 90% done for 90% of their schedules. The reason then for splitting stories is that it helps a team gauge its progress. There are additional advantages to working with small stories. With small stories, a team can get earlier feedback. This allows for course adjustments if the team finds it's not building exactly what users want. Small stories can also improve team morale. Finishing something, even a small thing, is more satisfying than being partially done with a large thing. Harvard professor Teresa Immobile named this the progress principle. Does this mean there's no role for big stories? Absolutely not. A typical good product backlog will contain some large stories, which are too big to fit into an iteration. These larger stories represent work that will be done soon, so they're worth having on the product backlog, but they won't be done in the next sprint or two, so they're not worth splitting yet into small stories. Leaving these stories big saves the team the effort of splitting them now. Time spent splitting would be wasted if priorities shift and the work is deferred or no longer needed. Stories should be split as close as possible to when they'll be worked on. Large stories also help a team manage dependencies. Most dependencies are between the sub-stories of a larger story. If a team is building a word processor, there will be a lot of dependencies among the stories about its spell checker. There shouldn't be a lot of dependencies between the spell checker and the subscription management stories, though. When you leave a story big until you're ready to work on it, these dependencies exist within the larger story. No one needs to spend time or energy thinking about those dependencies until the big story is split into smaller stories. I've got something that's going to teach you exactly how small your story should be, how to successfully and quickly write a product backlog for the next version of a product, and how to avoid getting bogged down by team members who want endless amounts of detail. Watch the next video here or in the description to learn more.